Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Excuse the glam face. Today is a content creation day for me, so for my other stuff, I needed to, get out of my sweatpants and put on a full face of something. But I just wanted to hop on here and kind of level with you guys about the quarantine and just a little quarantine update, because I did say that I hoped that on April 3rd I would be able to update you guys on how the quarantine is over and we're all going back to our happy-go-lucky lives. As you guys know, or maybe you don't know, but at least in Italy that's not happening. The 3rd was last Friday and we're almost a week later. They had extended the lockdown officially to the 13th, but we all kind of know that they're going to extend it even further. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be pretty honest. As much as I'm trying to keep spirits up and stay positive and blah, 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 I have some really down days because this is just weird. It's not normal. It just is indescribable. And I think that it's fair for me to be honest with you guys on that, and the fact that as much as I'm trying to be productive and positive and keep my spirits up and keep going on, it's not easy. And there are some days where I'm just like, oh my God, they're never gonna let us out of this. And so that's really worrying. To not know when to not even have a time frame of when this will be over is very, as I would say in Italian, inquietante, and we're just going with it. For the rest, like I said, I am trying to take this with as much stride as possible. I am trying to use this time productively. For example, I did come up with this new content idea for content that I will post on Instagram. It's called Una donna che conta I soldi, so a woman that counts her money, and there's a whole play on words, and one of my favorite Mischetta songs is included in that, where I basically try to explain and clarify in simple language personal finance and economic concepts in under 5 minutes in Italian.
La vita oggi è dura per una donna che conta, una donna che una donna che conta.
Ciao e bentornati, io sono Tia, una donna che conta i soldi. Nel video di oggi volevo parlarvi del perché la gente investe. Ti sei mai chiesto perché negli anni 60 50.000 euro potevano comprare una casa praticamente ovunque, mentre oggi possono essere al massimo un anticipo su una casa? Beh, la risposta è l'inflazione. It's definitely a challenge for me because I feel like when you study these kinds of things and you learn certain technical language, it's really hard to unattach yourself from that technical language and break it down for people who don't have the same technical background, which is where that's where the wall begins, and that's where certain information starts to feel inaccessible, and you have the so-called intellectuals and then everybody else. And this wall it's obviously not a good thing. I feel like this wall is the reason why Trump and Salvini and the Boris Johnsons of the world are where they are. So a big thing for me was to try to make financial literacy more accessible. And I tried to do that on my YouTube channel, but I just don't know if I was able to achieve that. So now I'm trying again on Instagram in Italian. And like I was saying, one, it's a challenge to simplify these things for me because I don't know, somebody says reduce your financial exposure to a certain amount of risk, and that I get that, but somebody that didn't study economics obviously isn't gonna get that. So to water it down and condense it is personally a challenge for me, and I like it because it's been keeping my mind occupied. It's something that has been keeping me occupied, which is in this crazy time. I don't want to push anybody into unhealthy habits because too much work and being too stimulated and not giving yourself downtime and time to rest, of course, is not healthy. But at least for me, I find that a coping mechanism is definitely trying to stay with balance busy. So that has been a pretty fun project to me. I suggest to everybody to try and find some kind of project that they can throw themselves into. So yeah, for me, I've been filming new episodes for that every single day, and it takes more thought than say a video like this where I just set up the camera here and I turned it on and I'm speaking. With those videos, I actually have to come up with a script in Italian, get Enrico to read it and tell me if it's more or less correct, film it, say all of the things correctly, edit it, and then put it up. On the one hand, it's less demanding than YouTube because the videos are much shorter and I can just cut out the spaces and throw it on the internet. But on the in other ways, it takes a lot more. I'm much more involved in it than I might be in a YouTube video. So that's kind of what I've been doing to keep myself sane in this time where they have us locked inside our houses. And I mean, I know that on the one hand, no, not on the one hand, I'm very, very privileged in this because my house, though it is small, it's comfortable. It's not, we're not like dying because of the space with being overcrowded, and it could be worse. I could be really, really far away from my boyfriend. And even though we're stuck together in this small space and it isn't 100% easy, at least we're in a relationship where I don't have to like fear for my life, because then that's another thing. The incidences of domestic violence is another byproduct of this quarantine. Domestic violence has always existed anyways, but this quarantine is aggravating the situation. And it's really hard to talk about because I've even heard things in my apartment, and I've even had to like report things from my apartment, and it's just insane to me that this is happening, but of course it is. I actually will leave a link in the description box to some resources that you guys can call if you are in trouble, if you feel like you're in trouble, or donate to if you don't feel like you're in trouble but you want to help the cause against domestic violence right now. Leaving those in the description box. But anyways, I'm really privileged in the sense that I don't have to worry about that. Me and my boyfriend have a really good relationship. We're best friends, and so I'm privileged. And despite the fact that I'm privileged, despite the fact that I'm in like the best possible situation that I could be, I still feel like I'm going crazy. I still feel extremely stressed, and I still want this to be over as soon as possible. I don't know, you guys. I think we're gonna make it out of this. I know we're gonna make it out of this, but it is hard. And I mean, I guess the whole point of this is just for me to come on here and, you know, say, I get you guys. Even though I'm one of those influencers that's trying to really limit the negativity that I put into this space. I don't want to add to all the negativity that's into this space. I want to say that I, like you guys, I'm struggling. I, like you guys, I'm trying my best. And I just want to encourage you guys to keep going, stay strong, and we're going to make it through this. In terms of updates for Italy, I mean, like I said, we're still in quarantine. Nobody knows when we're going to actually get out of quarantine. Everybody has their theories. Personally, from an economic standpoint, from somebody with an economic background, I know that this cannot go on past May, the beginning of May. Like already things are at a breaking point in Italy. So from an economic standpoint, I don't see how this can be sustainable after May. And even just practically, I think of all the people in Italy that don't have air conditioning, and the hot season is coming. Those European summer heat waves are coming. And I think that if this extends past first week of June, mid-June, we're gonna have other problems on our hands. We're not just gonna have people dying from the virus. We're gonna have people dying from heat stroke in their houses, young, old, everybody. I hope that this will end soon. But that's my so-called update. We're on day, let me check. So saying as we started the full country lockdown on the 9th of March, if I'm not wrong. So we are on day 30 of lockdown here in Italy with no true end in sight. And that's how it is for me. How are you guys feeling about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's kind of like take a moment to coexist in our misery, because misery loves company. Get it out of our systems, and just hopefully after we get it out of our systems, we'll feel a little bit better to be able to move on and, you know, move on to the next task, move on to the next Netflix series. But yeah, that's my update. Hope you guys are good, and see you guys in my next video.